Okay, let's talk a little about how to make a basic post. Here is a post. Um, One tip I think I maybe just said this in the other one about making a book review, but probably good to have some text that you'll write out first. Then we'll put in images and other assets. Um, this will, we can style after writing. I would say probably just write in the WYSIWYG. That's going to be better for you than writing in Microsoft Word and then copying and pasting because of formatting issues. Um, so just what I mean about that is we'll write our text. We've got some text here. I don't know. Hopefully you can work this way. If you can't, obviously there are ways around it. But if you have all this text, now you can come in here, and if you wanted, you can, let's say, maybe you want this to be a heading, subheading. I would suggest, steering clear of having multiple kinds of headings within one post. Like if you're going to use an H3, I would probably stick to using an H3 in a bunch of places. That way, if then you want to have another subheading down here, oops, let's keep that at the same kind of subheading as we used up here, rather than like make this a 2, then this a 3. You're going to end up with just a busier, more cluttered seeming post if you introduce more things like that. Same goes for other styles. I would say minimize that. If it's important to put in italics or a bold, you can do that. I'm trying this thing. Hopefully this will not annoy you. If it does, we can certainly change it. I can make it more flexible. If you want to add in a color, I've just simplified it so instead of having all those colors, we just have a few. This way, it will reduce the potential problem of lots of different colors throughout the site, inconsistency, kind of a cluttered, non-designed feel. If you just have a limited palette, it will feel consistent and look sharper, I think. And I don't think you really need a lot of colors. I think just having black for text, having some lighter grays for certain cases can work really well. And we've got a blue for links. You don't typically have to set that. The buttons and the links just come in as they are. And we've got this red that comes in automatically for some styles. And if you want to introduce it in some other places, you can do that. But I would just say be spare about it. So now we've got this text. We can go in and we can add some styles here. So we might want to, let's say, make this a block quote. So actually we don't have to select the whole thing and make a block quote. We can just do that. And now it is a block quote. You may want to not have a block quote. You might want to have a special kind of pull right or left quote. Text can go here. Again, you can just select that. This is under this formats. Again, just to remind you, if for some reason you don't see that formats, it's probably because toolbar toggle has been clicked. Now you have access to changing this with formats. And this is where we could say pull quote left. And now we'll pull left. It doesn't show up here. You're going to have to publish this or preview it to see that. Actually, let's just preview it right now. So here we've got it at subheading, initial cap. This is our block quote. Here we've got our pull quote. And it's starting to come along. One thing to note, the pull quotes have drop caps when you go to like on a page, but not on these posts. You could manually put it in with that formatting style, but I think one initial cap per page. I don't think you want to have your site full of initial caps. It's more of a special sort of thing. So there won't be an initial cap on a page. Like if you go to news, there won't be an initial cap. So if you wanted to have a pull quote there, it's more of like it's just a way to be, I styled it so that you're not going to end up with like lots and lots of drop caps all over the place. Great. That's all there is to say there. Is there another format that's worth talking about? Well, just note, if you're not sure if something's been styled or not, you can always just click within the paragraph and look at formats, and it'll show you that that's been set to pull quote left. If you want to undo that, you can just undo it like that and see it's no longer selected. And we can now say maybe we don't want that to be a pull quote. We want it to be a simple call out. This is just going to surround it in a gray box, and was a way I was thinking you could use to link to, say, notes, or it's just a simple call out. Let's look and see what that does. See, it's just now a simple call out. If you wanted to make it actually link to something, you would you could just have it link by clicking the little link thing, and we'll just go to google.com. And now let's look at it. Now it's just a link. Last thing to say about these posts. Oh, I know, the featured image, just want to talk about that. You can obviously put an image in by just clicking anywhere. I would probably just put it on its own line so it's not part of a paragraph. That way it won't interfere with other styles. So here we're going to have an image between this heading and this first paragraph. Say add media. Choose this image, or let's choose this image. We want it to float, say, to the left. We can set that here, or we can leave it as it is for right now, put it in there, and then we can come later. Oopsie. And there's a way to edit the image. It's not letting me. Try that one more time. Interesting. Okay, well, not sure what to say about that, Buzzy. Let me just try one more time. This image. I'll insert it into post. Oh, there we go. It wasn't showing up. You click on the image, and now you can edit it after you've already done that. So now we can say center or right or whatever. Let's make it left. Probably making it large. When it's left or right, it doesn't have to be as big. But pay attention to that sizing so that it will look good. Now let's look at it. Okay. And there we go. You'll notice there's some extra space here. Sorry, I'm being a little bit sloppy. Let's just go back and see we've got an extra paragraph in there. So just get rid of that. And now we've got our image showing up without that extra space. Let's add one last kind of image. We'll add a featured image. The featured image will go above the headline. So that's one thing to note. It'll also let you do that full stretched across effect if you wanted to do that. So we'll choose this image here, and we'll say set featured image. And we don't want it to be normal. We want it to be super wide, just so I can show that. And this top, bottom, and center would be useful for, like, if we say bottom, then you're mainly going to see the bottom part of this, which won't look so good. Let's take a look at that. Publish. Great. There. So maybe that's not what we want to see. Maybe what we want to see is the top part of it with the sign there. Update. Post there. So probably center would be best, but you can just sort of see how you can mess around with that. The only other thing, let's say with an image next to this initial cap with this subheading, it starts to look pretty busy. There's a lot of stuff going on here. Probably would either move this image further down the post, maybe have it float to the right, probably get rid of this initial cap. So let's edit this, and we'll just start by just clicking that paragraph with the initial cap, and we'll say remove initial cap. Oops. Yes, remove initial cap, update, repost, and there we go. And anything else? I'll just say about this block quote. Let's say I want to have like a source, says name of person. I can now select this here, and I can say quote source, I think is what it's called, block quote source. And now it'll just give it like a light gray that will be consistent. And the nice thing about doing that is, in the future, by being consistent about how this is styled, we could change it across the board without having to go back and do it to every different one. If you want this to be on the same line, it can certainly be on the same line. Oopsie. There we go. Now let's see what that looks like. And there you go. Oh, it's not on the same line. All right, well, obviously I insert, I guess it's always going to be on a different line. Right. And that is that.